Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a little while since I posted a video and I'm really sorry, but I was in the process of moving, and as you can see by the back of this video in the situation here, I'm still very much in said process, but I just really wanted my first video of 2025 to be in January, not February, not March, not April. I wanted it to be in January, so I had to just put it all aside and just do what I had to do, because the background, it might not be so pretty, but the video is gonna be good. So what does it even matter, really? So I did tell you guys in the video, my first video I believe that I posted, that I wanted to do makeup while telling these story times, and that I would work on that. But then I don't know, I guess I didn't realize the new year was so close, like it was approaching so fast. So now that it's 2025, I'm just like, I gotta just walk in my purpose and do what I wanted to do and stop trying to like do what I can and work up to it, because here we are, it's a new year. So I'm gonna be doing my makeup while I tell you guys this story. I don't know what I'm gonna title this story yet, but I think it's gonna be something along the lines of like, I got caught up. But this story is about the time when I was a catfish / scammer. And this is one of the situations that happened to me that you would think would make me stop scamming, but no, it didn't. Also, guys, when I'm doing makeup, I'm not gonna say the products because that's gonna be a bit much. I'm just gonna put my detailed step-by-step routine with products in the description. So if you're thinking about like, oh, I want whatever she's using in this part, it'll be in the description, just so that I can stop. Like, I don't have to like be like, oh, and I'm using this by the way. I can just focus on the story at hand. So let's get into it, guys. So when I was in high school, I didn't have a job in high school. I didn't have money in high school at all, but I wanted things. My mom wasn't buying me things that I wanted. Nobody was, so I kind of just had to get them on my own. I think at this point I had my first little like fake boyfriend, and he was buying me things, and I think his money had dried up at this point or something like that, but like, he was buying me things, and this was like my first little like taste of like having things. So I kind of got addicted to it and I wanted more. And I don't know, getting a job for me was not an option at that time for some reason. I don't really know why it wasn't an option, because it very much was an option, I guess. But this was during COVID. I do want to say this was during COVID. I was 17. My grandpa had just passed away. Or was I 17? Yes, I was 17. Yes, I was 17. My grandpa had just passed away. I was going through it. I was living with my grandma at the time. This actually started before I lived with my grandma, but this particular situation, I was already in the thick of it. So I'm gonna just tell y'all exactly what was going on and how it started and all that stuff. And yeah, so basically, I was scamming. What I would do is, and I don't advise anybody to do this. I don't advise catfishing. I don't advise anything that I talk about on my channel that I did in the past. Do not do it. This is really just not a tutorial. This is just me telling you my story so you can learn from my mistakes, because I was putting myself in so much danger, so much drama that I didn't need at my age or ever, that nobody needs, and I regret it, you know. So I'm just talking about this just so we can have a kiki haha moment at the stupid things that I did as a kid. And that does not mean to go perpetrate these acts, because they are not to be replicated. What the frick? They're not to be replicated, okay? So don't do that. Don't replicate anything that I say in these videos. I'm telling you right now, I will not be liable. No lawsuits against me if y'all do these things and y'all get hurt, because I'm telling y'all these stories because I could have got hurt, and that's the whole point. Like, I shouldn't have been doing this dumb stuff, okay? So what I would do to make money, originally when I was in high school, I made a Tinder account, fake page, fake profile, fake name, fake pictures, fake age, everything fake. and I would just advertise meetups, and that made me so much money. I think at like right before we went on lockdown for COVID, this is pretty much everybody knew me for. And like people would ask me about it, like girls would be like, I heard you make money doing it, you know, and I would just tell them like how to do it. And you know, this is what it was like. You just advertise a little meetup, and this is what I would do. So I made money. Basically, what I would do is, let me just tell y'all the whole mechanism. So basically what I would do is I would advertise meetups, and I would say, okay, it's this price, and that would always be more than what I really wanted. So I would say like, oh, meetups are $250, but you have to pay half up front before I give you my address. And then, you know, they would give me their address, or they would send me the half, the 125, and then I would block them. And then that would just be, that's just what it was. That's just what it was. And yeah, that's how I made money for a very long time. Oh my gosh. Maybe I can't see that, the little peek in my curtain, but it's okay. Basically, so it progressed and it turned into a whole thing. So at some point I had Snapchat. I had intricate, y'all, intricate. Everything that I do it well. I do it to the fullest, let's just say. Yeah, I feel like when I start telling more stories like this, when I just started talking, I forgot about doing makeup. When I start telling more stories about like this, you're gonna see like, girl, I was just hiding ass. Like, what was I even doing? Why was you doing this? Like, literally, everything that I ever did in life, I took it too far as a kid. So, I had a whole Snapchat, fake Snapchat, where I would post lewds. If you know what that is, you know what it is. I'm not gonna explain it. Google it. I would post lewds of, I'm not even gonna lie, various people. Like, they didn't even add up. How people fell for this, I don't know, because, oh, this is a little light. The pictures would not even be of the same people, but people kept falling for it. Oh my goodness, this is very light. I hope it oxidizes as well. But yeah, so I post lewds, and then I would advertise the meetups, right? When I would advertise these meetups, a lot of times people be like, how do I know this is legit? Because even though they would still fall for it, they weren't complete idiots, and you know, they would want some type of insurance. I had photoshopped pictures of like a girl with my username holding up a piece of paper with my username, like, to show it was real. I had the whole spoon vibe down, like down, y'all, down. I had it down. And I'm not saying anything about the pictures because that's a different story for another time. At this point, it was not like the grand scheme where I really got crazy with the pictures, and the person who was supplying me with these pictures and how we went into business together. But I will get into that one day. I will tell that story of my catfish enterprise, if you will. Literally, it was fucking insane. Like, I look back at this time in my life and I'm just like, wow, like, you had too much time on your hands. Like, oh, literally, oh my God, this is very light. But so I would just post these pictures, and when they would tell me like, oh, I don't trust this, like, you know, like, how do I know you're real? I would be like, okay, well, if you want to pay $10, I can put you in my Snapchat Plus, my private snap, and you can see all like the spicy things that I post. And yes, the devil was working in me, guys, but they would buy it, and I knew how to post videos and pictures on Snapchat and make them look like they were not from Cameroon. So it looked legit. They'd fall for it, and everything would be all good. I'm gonna add a darker foundation because this is a lot. Okay, this one is too yellow for me. I mean, orange for me, but I think they'll mix well. They also do have two different formulas, which is why I didn't just mix them to start with. But don't mind how I hold my brushes. I be holding them weird on this hand. I don't know why. yeah, they would join the Snapchat private and it would have like little fake videos that looked real. And then they'd be like, okay, like I want to meet up, right? And so that's what happened. So then they would send me the money for the meetup and then I would block them. But it was like an ongoing thing. Sometimes the money was very slow because obviously like everybody's not falling for this. Like it's like very rare, I think. I don't say rare, but it was rare. But like not everybody would fall for it. I would probably like fool like 2 people in a day. And that would be it. And I really wasn't like a bag chaser for real back then. Like I probably just wanted some money to buy something in particular. And then once I got the money that I needed, I like took that W and like moved on my life for the day. Like literally, like people would still be texting me and I'd be like, hey, like I got somebody today, like tomorrow. Tomorrow, G. So that's how I would make money. That was, ooh, this is, okay. That was the whole vibe. I'm not gonna add any more of that one. But yeah, so that was the whole shenanigans. So basically, this is one man. We're gonna call him Batman. He had fallen for it so many times. Like, I don't know what was wrong with this man. And it's not the man that the story is about, but he's tied into it. So this man named Batman, he kept like literally, I would not block him. And he would keep falling for it over and over and over. And he would always like ask like really weird questions. Mind you, when you're doing stuff like this, you're obviously seeking out weirdos. Like you're seeking out weirdos. So like you just kind of know like what you're getting yourself into when you do that. Or you, obviously like I figured it out quick. But the pool of people is really not cute. Like it's not cute at all. The type of people that you're even conversating with. And at that age, it was insane for me to be partaking in this. But I kid you not, there was this man, he would literally like keep freaking falling for it. Like I think he was just so desperate. I don't know if he was dumb. It seemed like he was on drugs too. Like he would just forget that he had already sent me money and do it again. Like so many times, y'all. I used to be like, is this man dumb? Like off the same account and everything. Like our old messages still in the chat and he would just fall for it again. He fell for it like 4 times before I started feeling like it was sus, right? So he had sent me an one day. He was like, oh, like I want you to come to this party. Like he will hear all the people that are here. Like I'm gonna send you their Snapchat, right? So I'm like, okay. And I'm just trying to get my 125 out of him again. So I'm like, okay, let me add them and see like what it's giving. So I added them and for the time being, like these people, like I did not communicate with them at all. Like it was just kind of like whatever. Yeah. So I added them. I think I told them like, okay, I'll come. Like no worries. I used to be very specific about things. Like I used to be like, only one person, yada yada yada. If you want more than one person, then this and all this stuff. I had a whole menu. Like if you want this, then it's this much. If you want that, then it's this much. Just to be scamming y'all. Like it was a lot. I will actually probably post like some proof right here, like because I still have that old Snapchat of like what I was like charging for and how much I was charging for it. And like I had this cute little menu, as a lot of like the Twitter girls used to have. If you were around in that era, you know. But I was just not I was not doing it right at all. I was literally catfishing. But anyway, so he ended up sending me the 125, or it might have been like different days. My price would change. Like I would have like I would have deals. I would have deals like when I feel like some people have been just be watching me and not actually purchasing. Then I would have like a Halloween special or like a Christmas special, and that alone tells you how long I was doing this. I think I was doing it for like 2 years. Yeah. from like 16 to 18, yeah. But I had a whole little intricate, like when I say intricate thing going on. So eventually, one of the guys that Batman had sent me that day ended up replying to my story one day and was like, basically that he was interested. I don't remember exactly the dialogue, but he was interested. He wanted to meet. So I'm like, okay, great. Like, if you want to meet, this is the wrong brush. If you want to meet, then here are my requirements. Here's what I asked. Blah, 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 blah. Right? So, this is my blending brush. How did you get blush in you? So I think he was like, oh, okay. So this is kind of hard to explain. So he had texted me, right? And he was like, oh, I'm interested, right? And when I told him the requirements, he said that he didn't trust it, which he wasn't the first to say this. So it was not a new thing. I was already well equipped to deal with this. But he was like, oh, like, I'm gonna need you to hop on the phone with me, right? And I'm like, okay, like, I don't mind hopping on the phone because obviously I'm a girl. Even if this is not me in the pictures, I still sound like a girl. So whatever. So we hopped on a little Snapchat call. Didn't have to give him my number or anything. And he was like, okay, like, are you serious? Like, I don't want to get scammed. I've been scammed before. And I'm like, no, never. I would never scam you. And y'all, I don't know how people will fall for this because I was never like into the whole like spicy worker talk. Like, I don't know. I'm not calling you baby, honey. I would always say like my love. Like, just like I say to y'all. And that was, oh, you were getting at me. Like, I was not going like super intricate or like super, I just was not getting into character. I'm not gonna lie. So, I don't know how he felt for it, but I got in the call with him. He was like, you know, like, I've been scammed before. And I'm like, I'm so sorry that happened to you. But for my own safety, like, I'm sure you understand. Like, I don't want to give people my address without, you know, some type of incentive that they're actually gonna pay. And he was kind of like, oh, but even if I give you like a deposit, I could still come and hurt you. And I was like, what? But I was kind of like, oh, I understand, but like, would you do something like that to me? Like, I would hope that you wouldn't do that to me. And he was like, of course not, but it really doesn't guarantee anything from you. And I'm like, yes, it does. It guarantees that you're serious. Like, it guarantees me that you're actually about your money. You actually have the money. Like, I'm doing this for money. Hello? So he was kind of like reluctant, and he was like really like trying to get me to waive this 50% up front. But obviously, because I'm never actually gonna meet you, the 50% up front is absolutely necessary, absolutely required. So I was like, yeah, you can send in. He was like telling me like, oh, I don't have Cash App, I don't have Zelle. And I was like, well, I don't think it was Zelle, it was PayPal or Cash App. And I'm like, well, make one. It's very easy. Like, make one, because it's not happening without the Zelle. Like, hello, sir. Like, he just wasn't getting it. Like, I wasn't budging, like, at all. He was really trying to get me to budge, and I wasn't budging because, duh, I'm not even actually gonna meet you. So this is literally the beginning, middle, and end of my plot. So I'm gonna need you to Cash App me. So I kind of was like, I was very persistent with people. Like, I was not letting it. Once I got the hint that you were like very, like, you wanted it, I was getting it from you. Like, I was getting the money regardless. So I kind of was just on him like, okay, do you want to come or not? Or I have other people lined up for different times. Like, you know, what do you need? Like, do you need it or not? And I'm like, I have like recurring customers that like I could be dealing with right now, and I'm dealing with you. So do you need that or not? Like, do you need that or not? So he eventually was like, yeah. And he asked me where I was, and I told him that I was in the city that I was in because I was dumb, and I really did not care about telling them the city I was in because, oh, you know what, guys, actually, because I would meet a lot of them from like dating apps. When I added them, I would put the city that they were in their name. And I would pretty much tell you I was wherever you needed me to be. Wherever you were is where I was. But I think he was actually, well, I know now that he was actually where I lived. So I was like, yeah, like, I'm from here. And, you know, I'll send you my address. Da da da. So he was like, okay, bet. And I was like, okay, bet. Like, bet. So he sent me the money. And I don't think I replied after he sent me the money. Sometimes I would. Sometimes I would, like, be like, okay, like, I would send them a fake address. Or I'd be like, okay, like, do you want me to meet at your place? Like, are you coming to my place? Like, I would entertain it for a little bit before I blocked them, because I just felt a little like, oh, no. Felt a little, like, anxious about not blocking them. And honestly, like, whenever I would get the money, I would be in such a good mood now that I kind of like, I'm willing to chat you up a bit because now I got what I wanted. So basically he was like, oh, like, I want to come to your house. I'm pretty sure I sent him a fake address. I would have, like, fake addresses lined up in my notes for these people, like, literally truly sick and needed to go outside and touch some grass so bad. But I had, like, this whole intricate thing going on. So I sent him the address. He said he was on his way. I think like 20 minutes later, I blocked him. And it was all over. Like, I blocked him. I probably moved on with my life, probably ordered some DoorDash, moved on with my life, right? So he kept adding me from different accounts and being like, what are you doing? Like, are you serious? Like, I really trusted you. And I would just, block those new accounts. It was very rare for somebody to ever, like, I feel like a lot of them just were like, dang, like, she scammed me and would move on with their life. Like, it was very rare for somebody to even, like, try to talk to me after that. Like, literally nobody ever tried, ever. I think, like, there was a couple, but he was really the only one that had ever, like, tried to be like, really, dude, like, why would you do this? Because I feel like they were already just embarrassed by trying to seek out these services, that it was kind of like, yeah, take your L on this $100. But he was not letting up on this $100. This was his last. Okay, so he kept adding me, and like I said, when I would get what I wanted, I would just get off Snapchat. So I was not even on Snapchat anymore. I was, like, completely, like, off the app. So he would add me, and I would, like, go and add everybody back the next day, like, when I need money again or, like, whenever, maybe that night or something. But for the most part, I would, like, go and live my life after the scam was completed. Because, like I said, like, depending on what I needed, I would really only scam one person a day. So once it was over, it was like, okay, I got the money, I can do whatever I need to do. So I didn't know he was, like, still adding me. I think I was, like, kind of seeing it. And, like, he would add me and then say what he needed to say. And then I would literally just block him again. And that's just what it was. Or, yeah, that's just what it was. Like, I would just block him, or I just wouldn't even answer. Because I didn't care. I was so bold with this. Like, I was so bold. And I look back at this, like, how I could have got myself in much worse trouble than I actually ended up getting in. It wasn't anything bad, but it could have been. And I really regret doing this because it just was not, it was not necessary at all. Like, it was, I was going too far with it. So basically, the day goes on. I probably ordered some food, and I was in school at the time, so this would always be throughout, like, me getting on Zoom. I would be on Zoom this whole time and doing my schoolwork. So I'm pretty sure usually after, my grandma would be like, we would go to the store or something when she knew that we were out of school. So I'm pretty sure I went out and I had ordered something, and then when I came back, my food that I had ordered was there. and I was just having the time of my life. And I was sitting outside because I think I was waiting for my food. Yeah, I think I was still waiting for my food. So I was waiting outside. And so I'm waiting outside, and this Snapchat like user is calling me on Snapchat. And usually like I would not answer, but I knew it was him, and I kind of was like, unfortunately, feeling like bold. And I answered the phone, and I was just like, what do you want? Leave me alone. And I hung up, and he didn't even get to talk or anything. Like, I think he said hello, and then I was like, what do you want? Like, leave me alone. Because like, take your L. Like, I had never had anybody press the issue this bad. Like, I was just like, oh my goodness, like, what does this man want from me? So even though I knew what he wanted from me, his money back, but I forgot to put concealer across my nose. That blended it perfectly. This is where you have to let your concealer sit, because even if you do go over another area, that concealer is there. It's exactly where you put it. It's not moving. It's not budging. I love. Do y'all see how little excess, and it still went a long way because it's thick now? Oh, so beautiful. I love concealer. Anyway, so yeah, he was calling me, and I was just sitting on the porch. I remember vividly. And he texted me, and he was like, I know you are. I'm gonna come find you. Da da da. And I think at this point I was kind of like scared. So I was kind of like, oh, dude, like, I don't know where you went, but like, you did not go to the right house. You didn't come. I waited for you. You didn't come. So now I'm over it. Like, take the L. Like, you don't, this is a business, this is a legitimate business of mine, and you can't just play with my money and my time and come whenever you feel like it. Like, it's over with now, right? I was playing that card. I was playing the, like, I waited for you and you didn't show up, so leave me alone. And he was like, okay, like, is there any way we could do it at the time? And I'm thinking he's just like the other guy, like, I'm gonna be able to get you again. I'm gonna get you again. There's no way you're gonna let me get you again. So, because that was obviously rare. Like, nobody was falling for it twice. Like, that was obviously a given. So I'm like, no way, are you dumb? Just like your friend, like, and you're gonna fall for this. So I'm like, we could do it another time, but you're gonna have to pay another deposit because you wasted my time. Like, there's no using the same deposit. Like, that was for my time wasted. I didn't schedule anybody else for that time because you booked it. So now you've paid for that, and next time you're gonna have to pay again. And he was like, okay, like, are you doing another client right now? And I'm like, no, like, I'm literally just eating my lunch. I was like, I'm eating my lunch and I'm about to go about my day. Like, I'm not doing any more meat today. And he was like, y'all, and I cannot address to y'all enough the scenery of the situation. Like, I'm just texting him, like, I had nothing else to do, clearly. I'm just texting this random man on the internet. And obviously, like, the whole thing was a lie. So there was really no truth to anything that I would ever say. Like, I would try to depersonalize, obviously, everything, because, hello, like, I don't want to get caught up. So I'm just like, no, I'm eating lunch right now. Even though I was sitting on the porch, because he does not need to know what I'm really doing in real life. You know, like, that's not pertinent to this character that I'm playing right now. And he said, and I quote, no, you're sitting on your porch right now. Oh, God. He said, you're sitting on your porch right now. And I froze, y'all. I froze. But one thing about me is when I'm scared, you might see it on my face, but I'm going to get myself out of something easy. So I'm like, why do you think I'm sitting on my porch? Like, what do you mean I'm sitting on my porch? And then he's like, you're sitting on your porch right now, eating lunch. Or no, he's like, you're sitting on your porch right now, you're not eating lunch. And I was like, how are you gonna tell me what I'm doing? Like, I'm literally eating lunch right now. Like, I don't have time for this. Like, bye. And I was so scared to just like get up and go in the house because I felt like he knew. And he did. I feel like he knew. So I was kind of like I have to play this smart. So I'm just gonna keep sitting on the porch. So he thinks that I'm not the girl that he's talking to. And so he won't get scared. So he won't think I'm scared, you know? And he won't think anything of it. And he was like, he sent me a video, and it was like of me sitting on the porch. He sent me a video of me on the porch. And I look at the video and I send a question mark. And I was like, are you just watching my neighbor? So are you just watching my neighbor? Like, what are you doing? Like, get away from my house. And he was like, your neighbor? And I was like, yeah, why are you filming my neighborhood? Like, what the hell? At this point, I am trying to figure out how he knows my address, right? But since I had blocked him, the conversation on Snapchat was gone. So I'm like, did I send him the right address? Like, I didn't understand at this point. I still did not understand what was wrong. And I'm like, you're so weird. So I'm just figuring, like, I gave him the right address. And that's how he found my address, you know? And I'm like, maybe he hacked my IP address. Because, you know, people in the olden days could do that. They still can, obviously, but people would do that. They would be like, sometimes, like, especially on Omegle. Do you guys remember Omegle? Like, also, this is not the brush I usually use for concealer. It's much firmer. The one that I usually use is in my boyfriend's car. So this is why I have to kind of like pinch this one. But this one is like supposed to be a concealer brush too. It's just a little, it's not as firm as the one that I usually would use. But it's actually not doing too bad at like blending and still giving me that airbrushed look. I'm actually not mad at it. I would not use it again. Obviously, because it's not what I'm looking for. But it's not that bad. But anyway, so yes, I'm thinking like, oh my god, he got my IP address. He's one of those. Like, maybe his friend was tired of me scamming him, and he's, you know, they came up with this whole entire plan to get me back. Like, I was so scared. But I'm like, no, I'm not dying like this. And my whole family's in this house right now. Like, you're not getting me. Like, I'm not gonna admit anything. It's not going down the way you think it's going down. Like, it's not going down the way you think it's going down. So I kind of was just like, why are you watching my neighbor? Like, I was playing it off. I'm very good at playing things off in the time of panic. So he was kind of like, you think I'm fucking dumb? Like, he was just cussing me out. Like, he was mad here. He's like, you think I'm dumb? Like, that's you. Like, you look so different from your pictures. Like, that's you, but you better give my money back or like I'm going in the house. So I'm like, you could do whatever you want to do. I'm sure my neighbors would just call the police on you, but that's not my house. Like, you're at the wrong house, you idiot. And so y'all, I ran out of storage. My freaking phone, y'all. I don't even know how. I have so much storage capacity on this phone. But somehow I always run out of storage. So, yeah, anyway, I think I left off saying he started to believe me, which I was so grateful for. Like, I was not giving him his money. That's what I was saying. I could not give him his money back because I had already spent it. And there was no other way for me to get any money. Like, I could have, like, scanned for it, but clearly I was not in mood for that. So I kind of was just kind of like, you're not getting your money back. And I'm kind of like, you know, whatever it has to be. And I'm like, I'm eating lunch. I had never said, like, I'm in the house eating lunch. I had just said I'm eating lunch. So I'm like, I'm out eating lunch right now with my family. So, like, I'm sure my neighbors are gonna call the cops. Anyway, my freaking phone was out of storage again, and I was in the middle of baking. But yeah, I never had told him where I was eating lunch. Like, I just said I was eating lunch. And I was trying my very best to act nonchalant, both texting him and sitting on the porch. And I remember at one point my grandma had came out and was talking to me, and I was just chopping it up with her. And like, I was so scared, but I was like the only way that I make it out of the situation is if I play it off and act like I am not bothered. Like, because if I just was to like run in the house, he would probably, like, he obviously wouldn't be able to do anything to me, but he would know that this is where I live, and he would know, like, you know. So I'm like, no, like, this is not gonna be this. So you know what he does? Like 5 minutes later, he's like, your Snap location is on. I know where you are. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? And he had already driven off. He had driven off. And he was like, your Snap location is on. That's how I know where you are. Like, I'm not stupid. And I don't know if at this point he believed me or if like he was like testing me. But I was too scared to even like kind of play into this. So I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. But that's not my Snap location. Maybe that's the Snap location from the last place where I have been. But like, my location is off on my phone. So it probably just shows me as where I was last. Like, you're an idiot. And I'm like, please get away from my house. And he's like, so you do live over here? And mind you, I forgot to say this, but when he was sending me this, he was across the street from me. Like, he was right across the street from me. He was not at my house, obviously. So I kind of had some leverage there, because I'm pretty sure the only thing that made him think like, oh, this is her, is because I was on the porch and I was texting while he was texting me, and I was texting him back. I think that's the only thing that made him feel like, oh, it's her. Because when I did look at my Snap map, it didn't show me at my house. It just showed me like kind of like in the area. So I'm like, get away from my house. And he was like, so you do live over here? And I'm like, I just told you I live over there. That's my neighbor. And I'm like, I'm obviously very used to having people come to my house. Like, so it's no big deal that you're at my house, but like, I don't want my neighbors to call the police or anything, so just leave. And don't ask me why I didn't. At this point, the best thing for me to do would have been to tell an adult. Like, that's just common sense. I fear what I needed to do in that moment was tell an adult, but I was scared. And it's really unfortunate that kids be afraid in these moments, because this could have been so freaking bad for me. Like, this could have been life or death for me. And I was just too scared to say something. And I'm sitting on the porch with this man just watching me and not telling anybody. So eventually he had left, and I kind of told him like, okay, like, you know what, dude, I don't want to do business with you. Like, here, you can have your money back. I think I had gotten the money from someone else and just said to him, like, you can have your money back. Please stay away from me. Like, this is really weird. And I had turned off my location, and he was just kind of like, he kept sending me the money back. And he was like, no, like, no, I'm sorry if I scared you. Like, I just wanted to see if you were with another guy yet, and if I could possibly get in, and I don't want you to be mad at me. Like, I still want the meetup one day. So I'm like, no, like, unfortunately, dude, this line is usually not this harsh. So what I'm gonna do is, I don't know why it came out that harsh. Oh, I didn't put on bronzer yet. Okay, that's what it is. Okay. But so yeah, he was kind of like apologizing and trying to send me the money back, and I kept telling him like, no, I don't want your money. Frick your money. Frick you and your money, sir. But he kept sending it back, so I'm not gonna keep take this money back. So I took it and I was just kind of like, oh, like, if you're gonna keep sending me the money, like, that's okay, I'll keep it. But because he was also saying, like, I don't want you to miss out on your money for the day. And I remember I was like, okay, like, I'll keep the money if you really do feel that way, but I don't want to do any business with you anymore because I don't appreciate you just coming up to my house. And he seemed to be very apologetic, right? Like, very, very apologetic. And that was really the end of it. Like, it just ended there. Like, he took his L. He did not approach me or my house at all. And that was that. I was so freaking scared. That could have went so much worse. I don't know why I was even willing to risk my life in that way, because no amount of money in the world is worth it. But obviously I was young and dumb, and I knew better for sure. Let me not say I didn't know any better, because I definitely did. But I just, you know, I was not being smart. I was not being careful at all, because I was a kid. And, you know, it takes situations like these to become more careful. And like I said in the beginning of this video, I unfortunately did not stop there. And I think after this, knowing that this man was his friend in real life, still scammed his friend like 2 more times. But don't be like me, y'all. It was really a dark time in my life. I really don't think I cared about much. So that was just that, you know, like, I didn't care what I had going on. I didn't care what I did or what any of the consequences of my actions were. So I just kept doing whatever I wanted to do. And yeah, it was just a very reckless time in my life. I was very depressed. So, you know, when you don't want to live, everything is just what it is, you know, when you're a kid, unfortunately. So that's my story. The story is kind of short. Actually, I thought I was gonna be able to, like, I don't know, I thought the story was gonna go so much longer, but I think I'm pretty much done with my makeup. I'm gonna do my lippy, and then I'm done here. I'm gonna do another video right now with the finished look done already. So I don't know. I was gonna say, should I do another like catfish scanner story time, or should I do like a another kind of story time? But obviously you guys can't answer. I don't know. Stay tuned to see what I did next. I really did not like the whole friendship vibe I had going on, because I don't know, these were videos from when I was really young, and I don't know, they just kind of did not sound, they didn't represent me and who I am today too well. So I want to tell stories that are like, it's a little bit more obvious that I'm not doing this anymore. So that's why I talked about this today. Actually, too, I was talking to my close friends about if I should do these type of videos, like catfish videos, or if I should do something else. And the girls are my close friends. They were like, do this. So this is what I ended up doing. Like I said, I will do a detail. This is like, actually, my makeup, I don't think has ever turned out like this. This is kind of weird. I think it may be my ring light. It's a little bright. And also the foundation that I used. But I'm still gonna list everything down below. It doesn't look too bad. I definitely saved it with the bronzer, and it still definitely looks cute. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. Hopefully you watched my next. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something. Do not catfish men on the internet. And always, 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 if you are doing risky things like this, because I know a lot of girls still do like feet finder and all that stuff, never give anybody your location or a location near to you. Never, ever, ever. Especially if you're underage, don't do anything like this ever. But if you are doing stuff like this, be careful. Turn that location off, okay? Make sure your location's off. Make sure there's nothing identifiable in these pictures. Be safe, girl. Like, literally, be so safe. Because nowadays, I watch stuff like Megan is Missing, and I watch Criminal Minds and Law and Order every day. And I just really thank God that nothing happened to me, because I opened myself up to so much trouble. Like, I could have been dead in a barrel somewhere because I was not taking care of myself and not being cautious. Hopefully you guys like this video. Hopefully the look is looking, as you can see on the eyes, this is what I usually do. I just do a mixture of my blush and my bronzer, and it gives me this like cute little sunsetty vibe. But because I use the same blush and bronzer that I use on my face, it matches my look so good, and you know, it ties all in together. So yeah, I have not done eyeshadow since, I want to say, 2021, and I really like the no eyeshadow vibe, but I'm starting to like want to put my bronzer and my highlight on my lid, and that's kind of getting me into eyeshadow. So let me know if you guys want to see me do some eyeshadow looks. I don't know if I'm still good at it. I might not be, and that's gonna hurt my heart so bad. That's probably why I haven't did it, because I'm so scared that I'm not good at it anymore. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you guys tune into the next video. If you're new here, please subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe. What the heck? Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing is so important, especially for the fact that I'm not monetized. But liking this video, like this video if you like it. If you enjoyed it, I'm sure your mom would enjoy it. I'm sure your sisters would enjoy it. I'm sure your cousins would enjoy it. I'm sure everybody you know would enjoy it, because I'm funny and the tea is tea over here. So if you enjoyed it, just go ahead and assume that everybody in your life would enjoy it, and share it with them, because they deserve to hear the tea too. Don't be jealous. Don't be selfish. Girl, what the hell? And also, guys, do not be selfish with my content. Share this content. Share this video with everybody you know, because if you liked it, and if the tea was team for you, and if you had this in the background playing while you was washing dishes and it was doing it for you, it'll do it for your sister, it'll do it for your cousins, it'll do it for your mom, it'll do it for everybody you know, really, honestly. I feel like I'm multifaceted, you know. Anybody can get into the channel. So share it with whoever and everyone. And honestly, just go ahead and share with your whole contact list. I would greatly appreciate it. I love you so much. If nobody has told you today. Also, girl, do not be selfish with my content. If you like this video, go ahead and assume that everybody else that you know would like this video, and share it with them. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And not only that, go ahead and like it for me, so that YouTube will push my videos to you again, and to people who like things that you like, so that we can build this little community over here, and it can be stronger than ever. Thank you so much. If you do like it, if you do end up subscribing, I appreciate it so much. Anything that you do from here on, I appreciate you. Just know that you are appreciated. Even if you made it this long, I appreciate you so much. And thank you so much. If nobody told you today, I love you. God loves you. Jesus loves you, and always will. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.